We're going to get started in just a minute. It's 1 o'clock, and we're going to get started here. How are my bangs? They look okay? Okay. Finance report, and he'll be coming up and talking about it here pretty soon. And we're going to, so welcome everyone. Thank you for coming today. I'm so appreciative. Scott, will you count how many people we have here? Thank you. All right, so welcome everyone, and as always, and blessedly, we will begin with prayer. Reverend Kristen?
Hello, hello. Thank you all for coming with us. Wonder if there are more on the patio we should call in. Looks like we got a lot of people out there. Yeah. Now that it's settling down a little. Annie will get them. Oh, she got one. Okay, there we go. All right, well, we'll go ahead and begin as they're coming in and just let it be a moving prayer. So in this seamless movement between our spiritual inspiration together through music and message and meditation, we move to our spiritual business, our caring for our home. We thank you, Spirit, for all that we are given here, for the abundance on which we stand, for the beautiful history of our center here. We pray knowing that the presence and the power of God is with us always in the people and the place. And that from here, we continue to affirm the truth and know with deep faith that we are constantly evolving into the wholeness from which we came and to which we return. Thank you, God, for the divinity in all of us, for the remembrance of that divinity when we come together, for the remembrance of that divinity when we look at our finances, for the remembrance of that divinity when we consider our facilities, when we look to new projects and possibilities and attract new people. The good is here, it is overflowing, and it continues again and again and again. We are so, so very blessed. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. So I want to tell you about a couple of things that are going on. So some of you were at the annual meeting last year, and you remember that we began to talk about renewing membership. We have 509 members in Unity Connects, and we're quite sure that not all of those folks are still really considering themselves members. Unity Worldwide Ministries, I just came back from the convention, has put out new bylaws, and they're recommending that we renew membership every year. We're looking at renewing it biannually. We've already asked for that exception just because it makes it a little bit more administratively easy for us. But the key is that we want to really get a clear list of who are our members. And so Casey Dorinkina, Dimitri and Elena's daughter, is kind of acting as a summer intern for us, which has been lovely. And this is her primary project, so she's going to make it really fun. And you'll be hearing about it in July. She's created a picture day, you know, like back at school when you had a picture day. So you fill out your membership renewal form and you give it to Casey, and she'll take your picture and upload a new picture to Unity Connects for you. So she's just helping us kind of clean up all of our data, and Lisa's going to show you a little bit of Unity Connects so you can navigate Unity Connects a bit better. And we'll continue to maybe provide some more instruction on that. For those of you who are sitting here going, what is Unity Connects? I think Lisa will tell you about that. And the other thing, so that's one thing that that's in the works, and so we give thanks for Casey and for Dimitri for sparking that project back into action. And then also the other thing I wanted to tell you about was on April 7th, we came together as a community, and a lot of you participated in something that Rita Marie Johnson led for us, along with several of the Connection Practice facilitators, where we looked at our current vision, mission, and core values, and we asked, how are we feeling about this? What are we needing? What needs are met? What needs are not met? What do we need to know about our mission statement, our vision, and our core values? So we took many, many pages of notes from that and formed a team that just really beautifully, with Spirit's guidance, came up with a new mission, vision, core values statement. We have one little tweak that we have to come back together and discuss, and we need to look at the descriptive statements of our core values. So I'd rather unfold it to you in one package, or have our team do that. So that'll be coming soon. So I just want to let you know that progress has been made, and thank you for those of you who participated on April 7th, because it really allowed this whole process to be a heart-centered and spirit-led process to form our identity and really speak that.
Who's on the team?
And on the team are Holly Cursis. So I thought I saw Holly. Maybe she's left since. Holly Cursis, Tyler Snordham Phelps, help me out, team. Who else? Bobby Bader, Veronica Wolf, and me. I think that's it. There's 6 of us. That was 5. Scott Salzer-Smith. There he is. Were you raising your hand over there? Sorry, I wasn't looking that direction. It is really a fabulous team. Sorry, I'm just in sort of Sunday brain mode. Yeah, so we've just really, really moved together, and I'm very excited to unveil that to you, and it'll be coming soon. Great, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Kristen. And I realized I didn't introduce myself. I'm Lisa Nichols, and I'm president of the Board of Trustees. And I would like to ask the other board members and advisors to stand so I can introduce them. We have Veronica Wolf, she's our advisor. Diana Messitz is our vice president. Susan Angelos is member at large, plus a million other things. Bobby Bader. Carl Jansen is our treasurer. Scott Salzer-Smith is our secretary. Dimitri Durunkin is on the board, and as well as Reverend Kristen. And we are missing Tricia Linden and Alexandra.
And Mark is an advisor.
Oh, yes, and Mark
Paulson.
Mark Paulson is another advisor. So thank you, board. Next up, we're going to have Carl come up and give our finance report. Okay.
Let's do that.
Oh, we have 50 voters here? Okay. Let's, then we're just going to shift 2 things on our agenda.
So 50 members?
So is there anyone here who is not a member or is unsure if they're a member? We have our list of, okay, so you're not a member. So just so you know, this is a vote for members. And so we just, these 2, and Brian, you're not a member? Okay, so everyone else is a member, so that's 50? Annie, you're awesome. Where are you? Where'd you go? Yay, yay. Oh, she's getting more. She's bringing them in. She's like, awesome. Thank you, Annie. Yeah, yay, Annie. Great. All right. So this is the thing. Last July, we came to you, the board came to you, and asked you to vote to set aside a certain amount of money to go towards putting solar on the 1871 Geary Road property. And at the time, we were in conversations with some solar people, as well as a nonprofit that helps nonprofits go solar. So, gosh, that was almost a year ago next month, this month. Is it July yet? No, it's June still. Anyway, so the project basically has stalled. There was kind of some resistance, there was some things, for example, several of the companies said we would have to cut our trees for the solar to really be effective. Some said we could put solar on our metal roof. Some said we couldn't. There was some concern about if we do solar now, then there's so many advances being made in solar, and so maybe we should wait. And basically it comes down to there was enough resistance that the steam ran out of the project. And I was willing at the time, a year ago, I was willing to kind of coordinate and make it happen. And if there's someone else who's willing to kind of step in and take over that role, we might be able to continue rolling. But at this point in time, the board is recommending that we release those $30,000, that makes sense, the $30,000 so that it's no longer dedicated to the solar project. And then if we do have someone step in who would like to coordinate that, then we would come back to you for another vote. Now, it does say in your bulletin, it said in a couple of places that we're voting to move that money to use it for the drainage project, and that's not actually true. We don't actually need your vote. We like your input and everything, but under the bylaws, there's a certain level at which we need to get congregational approval to spend money, but the drainage project is less than that. So the vote is really just releasing the funds so that they're no longer earmarked for a solar project. Yes, Eileen.
I move that we release the funds that have been dedicated to the solar project. Amen.
Great. And so for those, for the benefit of those online, Eileen Hausfeld has just moved that we release the funds that have been dedicated to the solar project. $30,000, yes. So I actually saw Irene's hand go like this one to second, so Irene has seconded it. And so by count, we need a quorum. We need 50 people to vote. And so I would like to ask those of you who are members to please vote aye if you are in favor of this. Aye. Are there any opposed? Or do any of you abstain? Great, thank you. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, super. So thanks to Annie and all of our members who stuck around so we could have our vote. Not yet. We'll talk about that later. Yes. Yes, Richard.
How much is this revenue, how much money do we have to spend now for this drainage project?
Okay, so we're going to talk about the drainage project in just a little while. We're going to give you a total status update on that. Okay? So, Ted's been pointing over here. There are microphones. Great. Okay, so, no, it's okay. We're going to answer his question in a little while.
Okay.
All right, so now let's invite Carl back up, and we'll do the finance report.
So I would say the good news is we are doing fine. Is this on? We're right where we expect to be. Actually, we're ahead of where we expect to be. One of the things, and I won't go into the details of it, but our expenses and our revenues don't come in even 12ths every single month, and we know that. John's very good at knowing that. So we take the budget and we allocate it over the way we expect it to come in during the year. I think we're running about $5,000 actually ahead of budget. If you look at the sheet I handed out, and we don't have to go into the details, but right near the bottom, the third line from the bottom says expenses exceed revenue by $18,441. That's actually ahead of where we expected to be at this point in the year, given what happens during the year. And we do have this other $8,000 of other cash items, and if you wonder what that is, about half of that is money that people have contributed towards the drainage project. We were asked if we wanted to contribute, and a number of people did. So that money is in at $8,000, and a big piece of the rest of it is actually the men's group. The men's group kind of has a net positive cash flow at this point in time. But we keep it in this area because the men's group uses that to do food things, to do all kinds of things, not just for ourselves, trust me. Well, it goes out for everybody in the congregation and sometimes outside of these four walls. So with that in mind, if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. If you ever have any questions about finances or where we are or want more detail or anything, I'm easy to reach. My contact information is in Unity Connects, and I'd be glad to sit down and talk with you. Okay? Who said amen?
Boy, did you get off easy.
Mr. Exon, I'm putting
And actually, you can ask any board member, and we are happy to share that with you. And I'm going to show you later where you can find approved treasurer's statements later on Unity Connects. All right, where are we at? Oh, there we go, drainage project update and appeal. So, first of all, we have a huge debt of gratitude to Garrett Reek. Garrett has done a massive amount of work for us in both doing some cleanup with our gutters and various drainage issues, and really identifying and detailing what the issues are. And he's helping us go back to the contractor who did our renovation back in 2010 to, is it okay if I talk about this, Garrett? Yes, okay. To basically let them know that there was a certain part of the renovation that was not done correctly, and we are asking them to share the cost of the renovation with us. So hopefully that will work out. And Garrett, is there anything else you'd like to say about your research and what all's happening and everything?
Well, you have to understand that it's been 9 years, almost 10. So we don't have a great record or memories of what really went on. There's always loose ends. So it's a very amorphous situation. And we haven't had a flat negative response from the Scott construction. I wouldn't, wouldn't want to predict anything there, but we're trying. We're just going to see. And they have given us a few helpful tips in terms of our approach to the current bidders on the project.
Great, thank you.
And it's fairly straightforward.
I also would like to ask Dimitri, if you could give the microphone to Dimitri. Dimitri's going to explain briefly why it's important for us to actually do this work and correct the drainage issue.
Why don't you come up front?
Oh,
See you on
All
camera
right.
for one thing.
always something new. Well, listen, so what do you think? You have a house, right? And if your house got flooded every once like 2-3 years, is that a good thing? No. So why it's a bad thing? Basically, it's damaging foundation. The mold could grow up, right? The fungus could grow up. All kind of dry rot develop. So we have this issue a number of years. I guess from this remodeling, right? From the remodeling time, like from even before that. So that's what we always want to do it. And now we have this opportunity to do it. That's all. So we're working on the solar. So we say, okay, well, we kind of stall up there. So let's work on something else. And I think it's really useful for us. Any questions for me? Yes. Oh, someone had a question. Yeah.
Do we have any bids?
Yes, I'll talk about that.
Here we
Good.
go.
So, under our bylaws, at a certain level, we are required to get 3 bids to do the work. And so Jeff and Charlene have received 3 bids. I think the lowest one we already are thinking, yeah, that's not the level of work that we need to have done. So there are 2 others. There's one that we definitely like the most, and it is under, I know the one is 24,000 something, 400 or something. What's the other one? I don't know. It's over 20.
He said he was willing to come right under 25, right?
Well, that's the one I already said. I don't remember the other one, but it's between 20. It's like 22,000, so they're pretty close. And so once we know what's going to happen with Scott Construction, then we will go back to the person that we really like the most, probably, and ask them to do the work. It will take 10 days, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So they'll be taking up the wood that's on. Not the deck, but the wood little area around the patio. There'll be some digging, some trenching, some doing some things. So it'll take a couple weeks, and then it'll be done forever. It's basically that the sump pump and the something else is, French drain. And the French drain is higher than the bottom of the office. So we need to, put that down, and so the water flows in the right place. Yeah. So Susan, if you could hand that out now. So basically, we are looking at $22,000 to $24,000. We are hoping that Scott Construction will give towards this project. May not. So to date, we have raised $4,250. Yay! Thank you to those who have contributed so much. Appreciate it. So we have an appeal again today. We're basically asking you to help Charlene and Michelle and John stay dry, because they're the ones down in that office, as well as our copier. You know, it's really not good for the copier to get wet either. So if you could donate whatever you can towards this project, it would be greatly appreciated, very much appreciated. So any more questions on the drainage project? Oh, at some point too, you know, the flooring down there is quite unattractive if you've seen it. It was pulled up at one point, and so once the drainage issue is taken care of, then we will finally get them a nicer floor down there as well. So that is, so the $22,000 to $24,000 does not include new flooring for down there that we really quite need as well.
Anybody didn't get one?
Hi, Richard has another
Yeah,
question.
you know, a French drain right there, all you got is a hole, and you got a bunch of rocks down the bottom of it, and that's your drain. Is this gonna be sufficient? You can't run a pipe someplace to take care of it, or what?
I'm going to turn that over to Garrett. Yeah. Richard, could you say your question into the mic so Garrett can hear
Yeah.
you?
That's good.
Does it work? There you
Yep.
go. A French drain right there is basically just a big hole in the ground, and a bunch of rocks and stuff down the bottom of it. But the thing of it is this gonna handle it, or do you need a pipe to drain this stuff out?
All right, I can go through the bids. Basically, the French drain that we have is only about 12 or 14 feet long. We're going to go all the way around the corner, so it'll be about a 30-foot drain instead, and we're going to lower it down by 3 or 4 feet, so it's below the level of the floor, so you won't get any flooding. On top of that, we have to take out the existing concrete swale in order to put in the rest of that drain. We're going to put back, I believe, the concrete swale. That's one of the things that's a little bit in question. But for extra redundancy, extra backup, it's nice to have that swale again. And a good part of the labor also is taking apart that small redwood deck out there, which has all the screws from underneath, amazingly beautifully done, but it's going to be a lot of trouble. So there's several elements to this. And of course, we know we also have to seal the wall, and we're going to be sealing the edge right around the joint between the wall and the floor. They call it the mud seal. So they'll put elastomeric material on that, basically tar. So there's a number of different things. And then we're also putting the sump pump much further away at the very end of this new 30 or 40-foot drainage system. And besides the French drain, we're also going to have all the downspouts going into solid pipes, which don't overload the French drain, but go directly out to that sump pump, which pumps 70 gallons a minute. That's 14 5-gallon buckets in 1 minute. So I'm sure it'll be more than sufficient. And most of that is just picking up the soil, which is immersed in water in a big rain, and the water is sliding underneath the patio. That's the biggest source of water.
Yeah.
There's a tiny bit that's sliding around the patio into the same redwood deck area. So we have 4 or 5 different factors. We have 6 different drain pipes right now draining this whole area. We're going to be working with 3 or 4 of them.
So
Then
if
the
you,
sump pump now is gonna pick up all this water at the end of it, excess,
Right.
and where's that water gonna go from
And
the
that's going
sump
to go
pump?
right into that little ditch that runs along the back side of the building. It's about an 8-inch high concrete culvert.
Oh, that's where the water goes?
Yeah, you might have seen it out there. It
Yeah.
goes the whole length there. In fact, it starts behind the community building. So it should be more than enough to handle it.
great.
One second.
Yeah.
Can't we also, as a company responsible for that? Because there must have, when they did the remodel, they should have known and had the engineers to get the permits that they would know how deep they have to dig for the drains.
I only have good records going back to the last remodel, which was 10 years ago, and they were supposed to check the drainage. It didn't say they were supposed to correct all bad drainage, but they were also supposed to put the new downspouts a foot below grade level, and they didn't do that. Now, the problem is we didn't complain for 9 years. I don't know why.
We had drought.
We had drought for several of the years, you're right. But the other thing is that a lot of people don't understand that after construction in California, instead of having a 3 or 4 year statute of limitation, there's actually a 10-year statute. And we're right on the 10 years within months. So, and the other thing is, under California law, if you sit on your rights and you don't complain timely, then you are partly negligent. So it gets very complicated as to whether it would be worth suing somebody for what might only be $5,000 or $10,000 of the $20,000 or $25,000 we're going to need. So we're hoping that Scott may chip in something, but you know, I wouldn't even tell you the odds on that. So far, they're saying, no, we don't think it's our fault. You guys were short of money. We already gave you a $20,000 discount on the contract, and we think we did more than we were called upon to do. And we can't go back and see what different people. Jack passed away. Reverend David doesn't remember any longer. The records are hard to find, so it's complicated. But you know, it's not overwhelming. It's something that really goes back, I think, 20 or more years, maybe from the original construction. But it got worse, I think, after we redid the patio and redid all this beautiful lawn up here, which is like a sponge, and it just seeps underneath there. So I think we need to do the full job all the way around the corner, both sides of the, external sides of the downstairs office.
I think it's a great opportunity for that affirmative prayer that
I was
Reverend
thinking the
Kristen was
same
talking
thing,
about.
Veronica.
Well, and there is, I don't know if I'm still on, am I on? Ted?
No.
There's also just this metaphysical thing, you know, that there's.
Go ahead and give her the
water
mic.
there. That there's water at our foundation is very metaphysical, and so we need to have a solid foundation, and that's really important. So that's what we're going to do.
Okay. Great. Next, I'm going to invite up Suzanne Perry Page, who will talk about our 10-minute connection.
Well, I was surprised to hear that I'm on the agenda today, but I love talking about this, so I'm just delighted. A lot of you have heard about the 10-minute connection, and it was created by the Community Connection Team, which came about a couple of years ago as a result of a whole church planning for the future. And on this team are John Rexroad, who is the co-chair. Did he just step out? He would stand up if he was here. Lisa Nichols and Bobby Bader on behalf of the board, Alexandra Diavalon, and Sherry Miller. A couple of the things we came up with were, our goal is to try to find ways to connect people here at Unity. So Munch and Mingle is one of those. And the other, one other one is the 10-minute connection commitment. This sheet, without my writing on it, is out in the foyer, and you can pick it up. I encourage you to do that and to become a part of the group that welcomes people to Unity. And one of the questions that comes up is this about welcoming new people? Yes and no, because it's about welcoming new people, but it's also about making friendships among ourselves, helping people who may have been coming here for some time who really haven't found a connection. They haven't found people that make them feel like this is their home. And it's about growing ourselves and with our own friendships. We want to connect with others who are seeking a spiritual path, and we want to start locally toward building a better world. And the question is, what happens if I can't make this 10-minute commitment every week? And so the 10 minutes is before church, after church, before a class or a musical event. Just spend 10 minutes talking with someone that you don't already know. And if you can't do it every time, do it sometimes. Every time you do it will have some impact on some other person. So pick up one of these. It tells actions you can take about showing people around the campus, about taking them into the book center, inviting them to something. So pick up one of these sheets, and also when you talk with your friends, ask them if they are also willing to make a 10-minute commitment. And so just to see how this works, who among us is willing to make a 10-minute commitment to making other people feel welcome at Unity? And I see the hands of all the people that I know do this anyway. So thank you very much. Thank you.
And remember, too, to invite people in to volunteer. Don't feel like you're imposing on them. So many of us have made our besties, our BFFs, through volunteering with them. Like Susan, Carl and Carolyn and I spent all week at the kids' camp this week with Michelle. And now I know some of the kids. And Claire and Brendan saw me, and they're like, hi, Lisa. And now I know some of the parents. And so now that I know them, I can invite them into our community. I can make sure that they feel connected and welcome and like they belong here, like we all want to feel. So don't get too uptight about inviting people to volunteer with you, because it's a wonderful way to bond. It really is. Next, I want to invite up Susan Angelos, who's going to talk about our social action activities.
So we have a really big July coming up, really big July. The first the thing that I wanted to talk about is, yet again, our backpack drive. They've cleaned it up now, but these flyers are in the bookstore, and they're also out on the welcome table. Please help. One of the problems that we've had with the backpack drive this year, last year, as you recall, we wanted to do it, but a corporate sponsor stepped in and took care of all of the needs. This year, all of the corporate dollars for this kind of giving were exhausted by the fires. So there's not only fewer corporate dollars out there to help with this kind of thing, there are more kids who are at risk and have the need. It's huge. So if you can find it in your heart, if you can't don't have time to put together this big list of a backpack, then but you can give financially. There's an envelope in the bookstore. Make your checks out to Monument Crisis Center. All of that information is right here, so you don't have to remember it. The other thing is a little charity at home. We're going to have a TLC for Unity Day that I'm asking you, as many people as can, participate. We're going to be getting together on a Saturday morning. It's not going to take a lot of time, and we're going to take care of all of the little cleanup and repair and all of these jobs around the Unity campus. And now some of that's going to be outside. Dimitri has agreed to run the outside crew for us. Yay, Dimitri. The rest of us are going to be working inside, maybe cleaning up, doing a little painting. We just talked about painting some of the doors that are grubby. There's so many things that need to be done, and it doesn't matter what your abilities are. It doesn't matter what your skill level is. Anybody can do it. I really would like to get as many people out here as possible. It's on the 27th of July. Come at 8 o'clock and help us give our spiritual home a little TSC. Thank you very much.
8 o'clock's awfully early. Can you come anytime? Or is it best to come at 8? Can you come? Best to? Yeah, best to come at 8, but. What? Oh, there you go. Okay. Next on we're giving you a lot of information this time. So next on our list is legacy giving, and I don't know if you all know that we now have a legacy giving society. And so if you have Unity of Walnut Creek in your estate plans, then we would really appreciate if you would join our society. There's just a quick application just to kind of say, I have Unity in my estate plans, and this is the way that it is designated for Unity. And we're going to be having special events for our Legacy Giving Society members, and it's just a way, this wonderful community that we have, it's a way to make sure that it continues on and continues to support and love other people even after you're gone. So we're going to have another Legacy Giving seminar, estate planning seminar in January. If you don't have your estate plans together, even your health directive, I highly encourage you to do it. I know some estate planning attorneys. You can come talk to the board, and just, we can help you find the right person for you. Whether you want to put Unity in your estate plans or not, we're just encouraging you to get your paperwork together for your benefit and for the benefit of those who you leave behind. Next is Give, the Give app. You guys have been hearing about it every week, and I just want to remind you that it has a rounding up feature. So you can go in on Give, and you can say which accounts you want to include on this. And so every time you buy, let's say you buy a gallon of milk. What's a gallon of milk now? $4.55 or something? It's ridiculous. And they will round that up to $5, and so the 45 cents then will go to Unity. And so it's just a way to kind of just automatically, every little bit helps. And then once your rounding up value or donation amount gets to $20, then it gets sent over to Unity. So that's one way to give back, just kind of automatically and without even thinking about it. So if you have any questions on how to download Give or how to use Give, you can ask me. Just come up to me anytime or give me a call or send me an email, whatever you want to do. Okay, another quick and easy way, and Susan, this is where we're going to give out another little handout. Another quick and easy way to give to Unity, and this way, this doesn't even come out of your pocket, but Amazon has a donation site called Smile, smile.amazon.com. And all you have to do, if you don't do it already, is go to smile.amazon.com, set up your account, and designate the charity of your choice. And of course, we would love if you would designate Unity of Walnut Creek, but you can do Habitat for Humanity or any charity of your choice. But every time you shop, instead of shopping on Amazon.com, if you shop at smile.amazon.com, basically 0.5% goes to your charity. So it's automatic, and if you try to log into Amazon, a lot of times it will say, do you want to go to this page on smile.amazon.com? It reminds you automatically, which is nice. So you just say yes. So the prices are the same, the shopping experience is the same. It's just that a little tiny bit goes not to Amazon, but to your charity of choice. So I guess it's not every purchase, Diana is saying. There's certain ones, I guess, that aren't eligible under smile.amazon.com. Okay, thank you for that clarity. So we gave you these little postcards or whatever they're called, you can put it next to your computer just to remind you to shop on smile.amazon.com. Smile.amazon.com. Okay, one last thing, then we're going to open for Q&A, and then I'm going to do a quick Unity Connects tutorial. The last thing is the Love in Action Pledge Drive that we continue to run. And Love in Action, as it is in its form today, its current version, is a way for us to ask you to pledge monies, either donate monies directly or pledge a certain amount every month to go towards our mortgage. When we renovated 9 years ago now, can you guys believe it's been 9 years? That did mean that we borrowed money to do the renovation, and we have a mortgage payment of $7,405.39 approximately. And we're making I think we've made good progress paying down the principal already, and we have a great interest rate. I think it's 5.25%, right? 5.25%? Oh, it's less than that now. I don't know. We don't know what it is. It's somewhere. It's in our loan documents. But anyway, and so we are asking people to donate that to go towards that mortgage payment. So the other money that we get, like through Sunday love offerings, class love offerings, things like that, can go to running of the ministry. But the Love in Action campaign gives us like a foundation of just knowing that our mortgage payment is just taken care of every month. It's just paid for. Year to date, we have collected $19,169.35 to be specific, like John. And that's against a budget of $22,000. So we're pretty close to what we're hoping to get. But if you can give whatever you can give, every amount helps, and it would be greatly appreciated. Any questions on Love in Action? Great. Okay, so now we're going to open it up. What time is it? 1:42. We've got probably 5 or so minutes for Q&A if you guys have any questions about anything we've talked about today or just anything in general. Linda.
Can you hear me? Okay. One of the things that came out of the strategic imperative that we did over a year ago was we wanted to make some changes and or amendments to our procedures. And one of those was having members of the congregation at large become part of the finance committee. And I see that in January, you guys as a board not only approved it, and I just wanted to know you approved 2 board members and 2 congregants, and then of course Reverend Kristen as well. And since it was approved, has this come about?
It has come about.
Okay.
We have a finance team of 2 board members and 2 congregants at large, as well as Reverend Kristen. Carl and I are the board member representation, and Chris Gomes and Sarah Bennett are the 2 congregants at large. We've met already for our first time. We've got our calendar scheduled, so we'll be creating a draft budget that will then go to the board for approval, and that will then be distributed out to the congregation. And another change that was made is that we will be having the congregation vote on the budget to approve the budget as well, and that will be at the annual meeting on November 3rd.
And then the other is I put in for some procedural changes, and I know that you guys were going to send those to Unity Village to see if they would be approved, and what's happening with those.
Well, we've been kind of waiting on Unity UWM to finalize their proposed bylaws, and they are very close to that, and they are actually going to be requiring Unity Ministries to adopt the new bylaws by 2022. We are allowed, as Kristen said earlier, we are allowed to ask for some exceptions. So like one of the exceptions we would want for our congregation is to have the membership renewals every other year rather than every year. And so as I think they had a few more things they were going to finalize. Is that right? Oh, they're taking input. Great. They're taking input from Unity, the ministries, through September, and they'll finalize it in October, and then our board will take. Those 2 are too close to each other. Okay. Then our board will review it. We reviewed it in depth. We reviewed the draft in depth, and we have comments that we want to send to them for that September. It's my magnetic personality. And so we will be submitting our comments, and then after they finalize it, then we'll submit any exceptions that we want, and then we'll be reporting. You guys will have to approve the new bylaws as well, so we'll be coming back to you on that as well. Okay, Suzanne.
A few months ago, one of the good givers here at Unity told me that their financial advisor had told them about something that we can do as retired people. So some of us are receiving money from a 401k or something like that, and then giving part of that to the church. And so I talked with my financial advisor, and they also approved my taking a large chunk out at one time rather than giving a certain amount each month. And I was able to contribute that to the church, and there is some tax advantage to doing it that way. So no, I'm not giving any tax advice, but if you're at all interested and you give money and get money out of a 401k, it's worth talking, or out of an IRA, out of an IRA. Yeah, if you've converted over to an IRA.
Yes.
So that's something to consider.
Any other questions now? Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Oh, okay, it doesn't sound like it because I'm not hearing myself. Okay, so any other questions, comments? Great. Oh, Peter, or Eileen.
These little smile cards, I think these are great, and I'd like people other than just the group here to get them. Could we have them on the welcome table with maybe a sign that says something about them, and then take one, or other places that people might think of? It's just one of those things that it's like, duh.
Hi, I'm Bobby Bader. I am your donations opportunity coordinator for the fall fundraiser. And I would like to give everyone here an opportunity. So please, we have forms to fill out. Any skill that you have, anything you'd like to do, if you'd like to donate, have a pool party, if you would like to. Anything that you would like to do that is marketable for our fall fundraiser, please see me or get a sheet to me. Thank you.
And Irene, did you have something?
I did, but now I forgot.
Okay, if it comes up, let me know.
Thank you.
All
It's
right.
called age, by the way.
Called age, yeah. We all have that, I think. All right. So if you don't know about Unity Connects is basically our community database. It's where we have names, addresses, giving statements. You can join groups there, and the groups can communicate with each other. For example, that's how the board of trustees, when I'm ready as the president to send out my agenda, I send it out through Unity Connects. And that there's two benefits to that. One is it goes out to all the members on the team without me having to type their emails. And that way, the agenda is in the file section there. So you don't have to go and search for your email to find the agenda. You can just go to Unity Connects Board of Trustees group and find the agenda. So there's a lot of useful things. And so I'm going to do just a quick tutorial. My honey back there, he's going to run it for me. So you can log in to Unity Connects first, if you don't have a Unity Connects account, there is right at the top of, this is our website, right at the top, there's a link that says sign up. See where the cursor is up there? And so you just click on that, you submit your name and email address, and then you will be getting back an email. Felicia runs this for us, and she'll send it back to you with a temporary password, and then you'll click on the link, and you'll change your password, and then you'll have access to Unity Connects. It's that simple. So you can log in, or you can, when you have your user ID, you can log in either by clicking at the top of the website or just go to unityconnects.com. We somehow got that URL. I was thrilled. So, and then once you log in, you'll see this is the home page, and there are 3 pieces to it. On the left is the menu, and there's a little hamburger. They call it a hamburger, where it's stacked lines up at the top, and you can click on the hamburger to open the menu or close the menu. And when you're on your mobile phone, that's how you get to the menu. The menu won't automatically pop open. You'll just go to the little hamburger icon and click on it, and the menu will open for you. On the right-hand side, can we go to the next one? Yeah. On the right-hand side, it will list the groups that you're a member of. So like for me, it has Board of Trustees. if you get the monthly Centerpoint newsletter by email, that will show up in your list. And every single one of us is in the group Unity of Walnut Creek. So everyone who's a member on Unity Connects is in the group Unity of Walnut Creek. John, if you can go to the Unity of Walnut Creek group, that would be great. It's at the very top. So Unity of Walnut Creek will be always at the top. If you go here and then you click on the tab for files, what you'll see is all of the Board of Trustees minutes back to, I think, 2007. I don't know, it goes a long way back. 14, I don't know, years and years of minutes, as well as our bylaws and our general policies, kind of all of our underlying documents that are part of our community. This last month's Board of Trustees minutes may not be there because we don't post them until they're approved. So the Board of Trustees meets the fourth Wednesday of every month. So we just met this last Wednesday. We approved the minutes for May. So May minutes will be posted on there soon. There. Oh, Scott, you're so good. And I got to tell you guys, Scott has the best minutes. If you want to see really good minutes, you go read his minutes. They are excellent. And the minutes also include the treasurer's report and the minister's report for that month. So that's how you can find lots of good information about Unity, including, like I said, our bylaws and our policies. Go back to the slide that says messages. So in the center of the three parts on the homepage, there's just some helpful information, like right there, right in the middle. There's just some helpful information. One is the second section down. It tells you how to get to what I just showed you, where to find the minutes and the bylaws and all of that. That will walk you through that. The very first part will tell you how to get your donation statement, and it's pretty simple. On the left-hand side in the menu that we pointed out earlier, there's a link. It says Give, spelled correctly, G-I-V-E, not the G-Y-V-E like the other Give. So it's called Give, and you click on there, and up on the right-hand side, what does that say? Giving statement, thank you. So you just click on that. There are some criteria that you can put in, like you could say for this year, year to date, last year, for if you have multiple family members, you can do your whole family or just yourself as an individual. There are different things you can click on, and then you click, I can't see it. Run report. Then you click Run Report, and that will show you the donations that have been entered into Unity Connects for you through last week, really, I think. Charlene and Felicia keeps that really current, right? Yeah. The other thing is if you give on Give, it automatically goes into Unity Connects. We still need to fix it so it's not going into adult education. It's not quite going into the right category yet, but we need to fix that, and we'll be doing something like that. Yeah. So that's that, and then, okay. So on the other thing about, up on the upper right, you can see there's a picture of John. And you click that, and then your profile comes up. And this is where you can tell us if you move, you can update your address. If your phone number changes, you can give us your emergency contact on here. So it says about, okay, and under, you can see that big blue button, Edit Profile. And it scrolls down, and there's lots of, I'm going to get away from the microphone. There's lots of different information that you can enter in there. But at a minimum, we'd love to have your current address, your current phone number, and your emergency contact in case we need. And an email. Well, the email address is your user ID, typically. So we have to have an email address to be able to give you a Unity Connects user ID. And then under actions, there's some other things you can do, like you can add family members. There's a lot of things that Unity Connects does that we are not using. For example, My Fit. If you have certain skills or interests or whatever, you could go in and say, I like to quilt, I like to sew, I like to knit, and then, but we're not using that